Today we have Troy Fleming with us. Would you mind to go through and just tell us what your career path is and how you got started on this path?
Yeah, I started out playing football at an early age, which football has been a vehicle for me to get through many doors, and presented many opportunities that I think I would never be able to have before. And I played football from the time I was 9 all the way up to the age of 28 when I officially retired from the NFL. And through football and my degree at the University of Tennessee in sport management, it has allowed me now to get into high school coaching, doing radio and TV locally here, as well as now working for 4 years here as the assistant director of recreation for Knox County Parks and Recreation.
That's awesome. And where are you working at currently? What was the name of the?
Knox County Parks and Recreation.
Oh, I thought you said coaching somewhere.
Well, I'm coaching high school football this fall at Knoxville Catholic, but I'm currently coaching high school basketball at my old school where I used to work at Concord Christian.
Oh, that's awesome. Is it a
Yeah.
lot of juggling, trying to keep up with all that?
It is, and plus having 4 kids who are older,
Oh, yeah.
they have their own things that they're doing and interests they want to be a part of. So it's a little complicated at times, but my wife and I are able to juggle the schedule.
Absolutely. On a personal note, your children are gorgeous, by the way.
Oh, thank you.
I just had to say something because I see pictures pop up all the time, and I'm like, man, his kids should do modeling. They are just beautiful.
No, they have that. Trust me, they all have their own individual flair, artistic talent.
Absolutely. As a child, what did you think you wanted to become and why?
To be honest, and my wife probably told me not to say this, I used to want to be a cowboy.
I love that. Isn't that interesting how we change over time? What
Yeah.
pulled you into football?
Um, Obviously, I don't know really. Just one day, I think my dad and my uncle were watching the Sun Bowl, and he had some people over to the house, and they all were gathered on the TV, just enjoying it and having fun. And I'd watch some football some, and at the time, one of my favorite players was Walter Payton, and I like the Chicago Bears because I just like the C on the side of their helmet. And I told my dad one day, hey, I want to play football. And he was like, you sure? I was like, yeah, I want to give it a try. And he went and signed me up, and the rest was history.
Oh, I love that. I think that a lot of young boys feel that way. Like they're drawn in by the emblems. And then once they get in, that's when they start kind of building that
Hmm.
brand ideal?
Hmm.
What were the biggest ways that you've had to adapt to challenges in pursuing your passions?
The biggest thing was to know that everyone didn't have your best interest at heart, and that you had to believe in yourself and trust the Lord. I mean, everybody may not have a faith in God and things, but I had that at an early age. Didn't fully understand what it really was, but I just knew that I believed that God could help me out when I prayed to Him and asked Him to help me get through certain things. And for me, there was tons of adversity coming up as a kid that affected my personal life, but I didn't allow that to affect my ability to go play a sport, because that was when I played a sport, that was my solace, my time to be away from those problems, and my time to be able to just cope with focusing on having fun and enjoy being around my friends and not worrying about the things that took place outside of that. And for me, focusing on that and just pushing through and having faith in myself. And I tell a lot of kids, your biggest fan is yourself. You have, whether it's through sports or if it's through education, you have to bank on yourself and understand. When I say bank, trust in yourself that you can succeed and be successful.
I love that. I do know that I've had a lot of kiddos who have really struggled with compartmentalizing. So
Hmm.
if they have something major that happens in their life that impacts their entire mindset, is there anything that's really helped shape your mindset kind of going forward towards your goals?
The biggest thing was is that I and for me, I would compartmentalize things as well, but I also knew that I was a child and I didn't have any decision making that went into those decisions that my parents or the things that influenced them that had directly affected my life, um, the way I was involved in. I just knew that as a child, I was going to be a child, focus on what I wanted to do, which was have fun with my friends and focusing on getting out of the situation I grew up in. And I use football as that vehicle. I'm also, too, I'm a big proponent of education, so I love to read. I loved history. And so for me, it was either going to be I was going to graduate from high school and get my degree or diploma and go to college and be a successful business person, or I was going to do that plus also have an opportunity to play football, which was something I wanted to do as well.
That is outstanding. Who do you think your biggest influence was when you were younger?
I would probably say my dad for one. He would go out there in the yard and play with me, toss me around, throw the ball at my face really hard to force me to catch the ball because he was like, you can't be scared playing a sport. He's like, go out there and compete, give your all. And then my two cousins who were older, who were about 5 or 6 years older than me, and so I saw them go through middle school sports when I was a young kid, and then when I was in middle school, they were in high school, and I watched them have success in high school. So my
It's
cousin
really
put me.
nice to have those people to look up to, like seeing
Oh,
those figures that are doing well, it gives you a lot of hope to see that you could be successful.
oh, absolutely. Those guys, and for me, those were my everyday people I looked up to. But then also too, obviously Michael Jordan in my era was one of the greatest,
Oh,
not
yes.
the greatest basketball player to ever play the game. And for his mentality of finding success and competing and being the best he could be. And Kobe Bryant was another one, even though he and I are very similar in age. But for him doing what he did out of high school and jumping straight into the NBA and competing with grown men and flourishing at an early age was
Were
also.
there any other sports that you had a passion for? And
Mhm.
did that help you in football?
Absolutely. I am a big proponent of multi sports. Don't believe your coach is saying you got to specialize. You're a kid. You're only going to have a childhood one time. So for me, I grew up playing uh, football. I played basketball. I was a really good basketball player. I was just short, so I couldn't play college level basketball because I was a 6 foot center slash power forward. But I was really good, and I ran track in field and won multiple state championships in that in running and field events in track. And if I didn't pursue football, I probably would have just pursued being a decathlete on the collegiate level.
That's amazing. And I
Yeah.
bet you those things really correspond well with helping you build your career as well. Dr. Martin Luther King
Mhm.
Jr. stated, I have a dream that my 4 little children will not be judged by the color of their skin, but by the content of their character. And I
Mhm.
think you being a father as well, I'm very interested to hear your response on this. Do you
Mhm.
feel that in America today that he has had that dream come to fruition, and why?
It has come to fruition in a certain aspect of it. There obviously we had a African American president, and so obviously, and what people don't realize is that, and I'll say this as bluntly as I can, but also professionally, the president is not decided by the minorities in America; it's decided by the majority of mainly Caucasian men, and for them to have a change of heart from where they were in the 40s, 50s, and 60s, during the Jim Crow era, to understand that a person of color or minority has the ability to be qualified and lead America the same way that his predecessors had. But yet, we as the next generation have to take that dream to the next level to where it's not just now the minorities that have lived in America, but it's all the minorities that come to America through the natural process and the rightful process of becoming citizens to have the same opportunity to go out and live their dream.
That is so eloquently stated. I think you
Oh.
need to start a t-shirt company where you just put these quotes and be like Troy number 1 and just have this amazing quote on your shirt because that
No, I
was
appreciate.
beautifully stated. I don't think I have heard that more eloquently put together. Thank you so
I
much.
appreciate. Okay.
For our very last question, this just kind of popped into my head.
Mhm.
Do you have one piece of advice? Because we have so many boys who are trying to get into football. Do you have one
Mhm.
piece of advice to really help guide them?
Mhm. I Yeah, the biggest advice I would tell those young men is to believe in yourself. First off, believe in the talent God has given you, but also to make sure that you surround yourself around people that, as my wife says, are going to build you up and not tear you down. And also to get yourself surrounded by a circle of people who are going to pour into you. And if you don't have those, there's mentors and other people that you can reach out to that can help you build that self confidence in order to persevere through life. And the other biggest thing is I would tell them is, regardless, I don't know what most people's current background is, but I mean, I put my trust in the Lord that He will always bring me through anything. And so finding a relationship with God or whatever you feel that is a higher spiritual being that you may find out. But for me, it's Christianity, and it's my faith in Christ that has put me where I am right now to be able to be successful and continue to push and persevere to the other personal goals I still have set for myself before my life comes to an expiration.
That is so well thought out.